Sometime later, Fleo is shocked to wake up with Rhys by his side. As she wakes up her darling, Fleo has no clue what Rhys is doing there, so Rhys reminds him that they are married. A look to the night before, Rhys telling Fleo that she was prepared to offer her body and soul to him. Fleo told her to calm down, so Rhys wondered if he hated her now. Fleo explained that he needed time to mentally prepare, and decided to just sleep in the hallway. Rhys pointed out that would just make the other girls suspicious of their relationship, so Fleo had no other choice but to sleep in the room. Now Rhys forces him to change clothes, and Balarasat gets really embarrassed when she walks in on them. They were in a pretty compromising situation, so it's pretty likely that Balarasat got the wrong idea. Later, Balarasat confidently faces off against a giant boar. The boar is terrifying though, so she runs, and it even scares Blossom. Rhys instructs Belano to protect the others with the defensive magic, and Balarai attacks it with a useless arrow. Belano feels sick after running out of magic, so the group of girls run for their lives. Fleo watches and realizes that leading their combat training is going to be a lot more work than he thought. Afterwards, Fleo shows the girls their room. Fleo received payment for completing the Psycho Bear job, so Fleo used the money to get them the room. Fleo figures he will be training them for a while, so he can't just make them sleep on the floor. Just then Rhys reveals that she cooked for everyone, but Fleo is horrified because Rhys just made raw meat. Rhys made enough for everyone to celebrate their new home, but Fleo explains that they prefer their meat cooked. Fleo and Balarasat take care of the cooking, but Saib agrees with Rhys that fresh meat is better served raw. When the food's ready, all the girls wonder if Fleo used magic to make it, since it looks so good, but Fleo credits Balarasa for helping him. Balarasa admits to being better at cooking than swordsmanship, and she reveals that her family was poor growing up, so they had to cook their own meals. Everyone thinks the food is delicious, but Rhys says that leaves are only food for weak monsters that are not able to hunt meat. But Fleo made the salads though, so Rhys vows to eat anything her darling has prepared, even if it's leaves. Surprisingly, Rhys actually liked the salad, but what's more shocking is that Rhys liked the cooked meat. Rhys is stunned to hear that Balarasa cooked the meat, but Rhys doesn't want to be outdone, so Rhys promises to do the cooking next time. When they went to the Adventurers Guild, everyone was amazed that their group kept coming back with more boars every time. Rhys would like to go for a walk while their hunt is assessed, and Rhys rejects Fleo's offer to come along. This works out fine though, as Lilith of the Adventurers Guild wants to speak with Fleo. It turns out that Rhys didn't want him to go with her, since Rhys was planning something special. Lilith explains to Fleo that his exploits are the talk of the guild. People around town are even talking about him, so Fleo realizes that he might be overdoing things. Lilith explains that a request has been made for Fleo to lend his strength and service to the hero. If Fleo agrees, the king will make him an honorary knight. They had never seen anyone who could take down so many A-rank monsters at once, especially with only 2 people. Lilith would rather keep Fleo in his guild, but he can't deny him this opportunity to help the world. Fleo determines that in this world, this is probably the greatest honor anyone could receive. Fleo isn't from this world though, and he has no reason to fight the demons. Then Lilith is stunned when Fleo rejects the offer. Outside, Fleo finds Rhys in really bad shape, and Fleo wonders if Rhys was attacked by a monster. It wasn't anything dangerous like that, as Rhys thinks about how she had no idea this thing called cooking would be so difficult. Then we see that Rhys went on her own to take cooking classes, where the instructor explained that cooking is the way to a man's heart. The cooking process was way too slow for her, but her impatient attempt at using magic just messed things up. Rhys is determined to win Fleo's heart though, so Rhys vows to conquer cooking. Elsewhere, the blonde hero hears about an adventurer who is eliminating a crazy number of monsters, with just one other person helping. This could be the person who will give him the confidence to resume the battle against the demon army. The hero orders that this adventurer be brought to him right away, so that he can put him to work as his right-hand man. 1 month later, we see that Fleo has had to reject the king's offer several times already. Rhys's offer is to threaten them to never come back, but Fleo would rather they go train. They find Blossom and Saib hard working on the farm, but Fleo wishes she would put this much effort into her training. Later, Rhys tries to get Bailarai to hit her target on a tree, but Bailarai has a hard time doing it because Bailarai feels bad for the tree. Rhys tries to entice her to shoot a crazy-eyed bird for its delicious meat, but she can't do that either. Then Fleo gives Belano a magic ring he made that will increase her magic capacity. When Fleo leaves, Belano considers putting it on her ring finger, but Rhys threatens her not to. Just then Balarasa gets caught in a tough spot, so Balarasa calls out to Fleo, but Rhys rescues her instead. Rhys sees right through her little act, and points out that she's pretending to be weak to appeal to her husband. Later Rhys feeds everyone, and they're amazed by her cooking. Rhys reveals that she has been going to cooking classes every time Fleo goes to the guild. Rhys explains that she only used to care about her strength, but she has learned to do more things now, and they make her even happier than just getting stronger. Rhys made some curry just for Fleo, because her teacher said it's the key to a man's heart. Fleo loves it, so Rhys couldn't be more excited. However, outside someone watches them, and she is shocked to find that Rhys is with humans. Rhys was once feared as the demon army's bravest woman warrior, so the girl wonders if Rhys has betrayed them. Just then Rhys appears to confront this demon, named Eulimenes. Eulimenes explains that she was just surveying the area, but she is stunned when Rhys reveals that she is married. Rhys gets upset when she wonders if Eulimenes is there to get between her and her husband, but Eulimenes denies these allegations. Then Eulimenes thinks about her as a completely different person now. Compared to when Rhys was in the demon army, Eulimenes can't even believe that the Fleo is calm when a demon is right next to him. What's most confusing though, is that when Eulimenes uses her skill assessment magic, Eulimenes gets no reading on Fleo levels at all. This has never happened before, as her readings have never failed, even when used on the Demon Lord. Just then Eulimenes is shocked to learn that Fleo was the one who used purification magic on the forest. Eulimenes is really upset, and points out that Fleo eliminated Rhys's brother Fenrys and his entire unit. Fenrys was stationed in the forest, and they hadn't heard anything from him since the purification. Rhys surprisingly already knew all this, but Rhys explains that her brother would hate it if she pitied his death, even more than that he was one of the Dark One's Infernal Four, so his incompetence was his own fault. Then Rhys explains that she was charmed by Fleo's power, which is why Rhys chose him as her husband, and nothing can change that. Just then the other girls revealed that they were listening, and they couldn't believe that Rhys was the infamous Fenrys. Eulimenes realizes that Fleo is a serious threat to the demon army, because Fleo was able to turn Fenrys into their enemy. Eulimenes explains that she is intrigued by this charming power Fleo has, so Eulimenes insists that they have a mock battle. But in reality Eulimenes is planning to eliminate them both. Rhys interjects by pointing out that Eulimenes is just trying to get close to Fleo, but they agree to the mock battle anyway. The battle begins with Eulimenes using a magic attack. It's a distraction though, so Eulimenes can use several spells from underneath Fleo and Rhys. Just then Eulimenes is shocked when Fleo uses a force cancellation spell to get rid of all her attacks. Fleo captures her and reminds her that he is her opponent. Fleo realizes what Eulimenes is doing and explains that he won't allow her to target Rhys. Fleo is just too powerful, so Eulimenes surrenders. Later Fleo apologizes for hiding who Rhys was, but Fleo is stunned when the girls decide not to report this to the kingdom. They explain that Rhys has helped them greatly with their training, and they would never betray someone so kind. Just then Eulimenes returns with the demon army's most elite force, the Legion of Dragons. The girls are terrified because this legion has wiped out the entire human forces many times. Eulimenes is prepared to hear them surrender, but Eulimenes can't believe her ears when Fleo is just excited to see dragons for the first time. Dragons existed in his old world, but he never had a chance to see them. Eulimenes furiously declares that it's time to attack, but Fleo uses impressive holy magic to strike down a bunch of dragons. Eulimenes can't believe that the demon army's strongest dragons were wiped out in an instant, so she retreats. Blossom wishes she would have fought some of them with her gardening tools, so Fleo tells her to try throwing it. Blossom does, so Fleo uses some augmentation magic on it. Fleo sharpens it and accelerates it, so it absolutely wrecks a dragon. Blossom is amazed to see that she earned the Dragon Slayer title, so all the girls want Fleo to help them do the same. Unfortunately, the dragons have gotten away, so Balarasa sobs in defeat. Elsewhere, the Demon Lord can't believe that a mere adventurer could use such powerful magic. He is not even a hero, so the Demon Lord declares that it's time for them to make their next move. And that's where today's episode ends. Fleo believes the danger has passed, but the Demon Lord has made his move. Next time, Fleo faces a threat that refuses to be solved easily. Before you go, friends, we've started a membership program for true fans, where you'll get early access to videos, exclusive recaps, and shout-outs in our uploads. Check the link in the description if you'd like to join the family. If you enjoyed this recap, Drop a like, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss what happens next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.